Welcome back. We are here with Jeremy Perkins, my friend, and he's the owner of Business Journal's fastest growing company 2 years in a row. He's with Precision Medical Products. How you doing, Jeremy?
Doing good, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, now 2 years in a row, back to back, is the fastest growing in our region. How do you pull that off?
Yeah, so we from 2011 to 13, we won fastest growing company in Sacramento, 2-year run rate. And that was somewhat easy because the key with that is just don't do anything in sales. Really low sales.
You start at a very low number and you can get fast growth that first year.
So from 2011 to 13 was a little bit easier to hit, and then but we actually did it from 2012 to 14, that 2-year run rate also. And we're only the second company ever in the history of that rankings, the SAC Business Journal, to do that. So that was the one that was pretty,
how fast was that growth
cool.
percentage-wise?
The first time we were 808, a little over 800% growth.
Wow, 800% growth. And what about second year?
350.
What about now?
We're trying to get 20% growth.
The law of big numbers can kind of catch up with you. You can go from 300 or 800% down to 300. Now it's 20, and that's still good. Anything in the double digits, once you're a more mature company like yourself, that's very fast growth. Now, give us an overview of Precision Medical Products.
Yeah, let me hit one point real quick.
Yeah.
My CPA has sat down with me the last 2 years. Like, look, 20% growth is great. Just sustainable, good growth is all we want. We don't want anything too crazy because you can outgrow yourself sometimes. So
so we could talk about that too. I have been around some companies. I mean, I had one company that we grew from like 30 to 50 to 85 million to 115, 150, 180. And, next thing you know, your line of credit looks like, I better start getting some of that debt paid down.
Yeah.
So, it can catch up with you. But, okay, tell us about your business.
So I formed Precision Medical Products back at the end of 2009 and started my garage. It was just your true startup, man.
The garage.
Exactly. Just, you have your storage racks and medical equipment in the garage, and you're just hustling, trying to get those first accounts and just, trying to earn it, like just every day, 80 hours a week, trying to ground and pound, earn people's trust, and just one by one grow the business. And then brought on another sales rep, another one, and over 6 years, we grew the company from 2 people to 126 people.
Wow. And now you guys are selling medical products to whom?
Well, our end user is technically the doctor because he's writing the prescription, and then we have one of our slight edge things is that we made a decision at the beginning to actually take our fitting specialists and go to patients' homes.
Okay.
And get them fit in their own home, and that was something that set us apart. Instead of most people, you have to come to some locations. We just made it easier on patients.
Yeah. So you have that relationship with the end user, and you're able to pull that through the doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now, getting started in that business, you say you started in your garage, but you got started going door to door, getting the door slammed on you once or twice, right?
Exactly.
How did you start off, and what kind of character does that build?
So door-to-door book sales, man. I did that all through college, and I'd say that's a foundation of if I had to attribute one thing that allowed us to be successful really quickly in medical, it was having that foundation. Perfect your craft, whatever you're going to do. If you're an entrepreneur, perfect what you're going to do. At the end of the day, we're in sales, we're in distribution, and those early days in college of just going door to door, knocking on doors, 80 hours a week in the summer.
Wow.
Hot summer heat. We actually would go to the Midwest for the summer. The college students from California would go out to the Midwest, live in the Midwest for summer, and sell education material door to door. And that was just a great experience of learning how to approach people, talk to people, how to close, how to answer objections.
Yeah, something every entrepreneur is a salesperson in some way. Even if you're not great at sales, you need to be able to convince people to do things, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about your team. You've obviously you've convinced 120 people to go to war with you. Tell us about your team.
Yeah, so within our company, we have 3 divisions. Obviously, I think the backbone of any company is like your sales and marketing. So that's pretty much when the company was started. First, I'd say 5 or 6 key people were all, the salespeople. And when you're a new company, you do everything, right? So like I'd say that first year, I was the CFO, the COO, the CEO, and all whatever titles you want to have. But at the end of the day, you're just doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So we definitely have the sales and fitting specialists end of our company, which is what brings in all the revenue into the company. And then the next division would be operations. So that's controlling all the inventory. We do about $20 million a year in revenue, but it's not revenue of big medical equipment. It's our typical product's $200-$300. So it's not something that's, we're not selling these, $1 million capital machines. We're doing real small stuff. So inventory, back office, operations side. And then the third division is this is where you become profitable or not, is the, billing, AR, admin. And that's what really keeps you, profit.
What's your strength? What are you best at?
Not the admin part. Sure, not
really?
billing it. No.
I hope you have somebody that handles that stuff for you.
Yeah,
that you love, that is a stud.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, in the very beginning, one of our first 3 employees was. I'm lucky too. I get to work with my best friends, but one of my best friends in the world, Mark Reynolds, came in and he just owned it. He's very meticulous, very knows all the numbers, very gets in all the details, and just became an absolute billing expert. So.
And what would you say to that man right now?
I love you, Mark. I owe you big time, man.
I love it. Now, now it's never easy. You're growing like crazy. So I have a question about how do you finance that growth and keep the bills paid when you're growing that fast?
Yeah, so there's a lot of good things I learned in college by selling books, but that wasn't the finance wasn't one of them. I'd say probably that's the hardest struggle of most entrepreneurs to say is getting funding, right? And being able to finance it. I finance the company 100%. Even to this day, we have no outside funding at all.
Wow.
So it's 100% finance, with the exception of we have a small line of credit from Wells Fargo.
Okay.
But $500,000. But when you're doing $20 million a year in revenue, $500,000 is not really.
Yeah, I need to get you introduced to 5 Star Bank. My good friend James Beckwith over there would probably love to meet you if you're free. They're the Entrepreneurs Bank and they're a sponsor of the show, and they're a great bank. We deal with them in our businesses as well. But thinking about the challenges of financing, thinking about the challenges of the people side of things, growing the people, what are the biggest challenges that you've really faced that make you maybe even second guess yourself over the years?
Well, back to the finance would be the biggest challenge, because when you're growing that fast, you have to understand the finance arm of the company, because we were in a unique position. We were growing so fast, and we had so many sales. And in our industry, we're 6 months behind on our AR. So if we make a sale, we're not going to get paid for 6 months, pretty much.
Right. You get paid from the insurance company, or who pays you? The doctor?
Exactly.
Okay, the insurance company.
So you can almost outgrow yourself.
Yeah.
And that's just understanding that almost.
Yeah, you've got to pay the bill in 30 days, 60 days, or up front, and you're waiting 6 months to pay. So the faster you grow, the more it kills you on cash.
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually went on like a 12-month hiring or I think it was 10-month hiring freeze, where we didn't hire any new sales reps. We're in 18 states now, and we had a whole growth and expansion plan, but we stopped hiring because we actually had to catch up on the sales we made. We just had grown so fast.
Yeah.
Financing arm.
Any big lessons you learned along the way?
If I had to share one thing, when I was driving over here this morning, I'm like, what would be like one thing I'd share with like a young entrepreneur? And I read a book. I read it multiple times, but it's called The Magic of Thinking Big. Have you ever?
Yeah, I know that book.
So it's having a big goal, something that inspires you when you wake up in the morning, it motivates you, and it's something that fires you up in the morning.
Yeah.
And that's the magic of thinking big. So we set big goals, and to be honest, we didn't hit them. But when you set really, really big goals, we were trying to, and we still will. Our goals,
you mean 800%? You had a goal bigger than 800% growth?
Yeah, it wasn't. But when you're only in the beginning, when you're only doing like $500,000 your first year, it's all like percentages. So it's kind of a little bit misleading. But the goal was always to be a $100 million company, and that's still the goal. Like, we're at $20 million now. It's like, how do you get to be a $100 million company? And that's something that really inspires me. And it's a number. Like, it's just something to strive to. But
big, hairy, audacious goal.
Yeah, BHAG.
Yes.
Yep, exactly. So that's something every young entrepreneur should have is a BHAG, and something that like motivates you and fires you up. And it could be whether it's a revenue number or just changing an industry, disrupting it. That's something that I just really encourage. Magic of thinking big.
What's $100 million look like to Jeremy Perkins?
It's not. It's really weird because when I say $100 million, I think people think like $100 million. It's $100 million revenue. It's not that. It's if you're a $100 million company in our industry, you're providing jobs for about 500 people. It's a great lifestyle for the people that are going to do well and work hard. It's what comes with that. At $100 million, we're impacting roughly about 10,000 patients a year, their lives. And what we do, we actually, our medical equipment saves lives. So this DVT prophylaxis, it's a number 2 leading cause of death in the hospital. Number 1 preventable cause of death that you can actually prevent it. If patients are just wearing these like calf squeezers after surgery, it prevents blood clots, which cause pulmonary embolisms.
Wow.
Not to bore people with medical stuff.
Well, you know, you're doing something that's good for society, but as you grow, even from 0 to 20 million, and now the growth trajectory to get to 100, I mean, that's a lot of opportunity. It's not just jobs, it's jobs and leaders and managers of managers. I mean, at 120 people, currently you've created a ton of opportunity, but these are going to be some great jobs as you get there. Now,
let me just say real quick. So I get to wake up every morning, and literally the office next to me is my best friend in the world, Mark Bernardini. I get to work with him every day. My best friend that from college, he runs our San Francisco distributorship. Literally, if you took my like 15 best friends for the last 20 years of my life, we all work together. So It's like we go to a national sales meeting, and my wife's like, "You're just going to hang out with your friends." Like, we run a company. Like we get to go on our incentive trips together. I mean, I literally absolutely love, and I'm saying it from not just people say, I love going to work. I love, like, the people I work with, I absolutely love. They've been best friends before. And that's what's so cool, man, is being able to develop a company and have your friends work with you. And it's, we always do it in our EO group. We talk about like the 7 categories of life.
Yes.
And it's one thing I've always felt good at is, like, if I'm doing well at work, my friendships are usually doing pretty good too, because but if work's not going good, then friendships aren't good. So
that is very cool. And so the theme of today's show is fatherhood. And talk to us about anything you may have learned from your dad, or you're a father and you got a beautiful family. Talk to us about fatherhood and how that might relate to being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so I have a 7-year-old, 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and then we 7 weeks ago just had another one. So newborn, yeah.
And congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's amazing. Being a father is awesome. It's it's probably, everybody's got their certain things in life that motivate them. Like for me, it's my God, wife, and kids, and my business is fourth. We're talking about the business a lot, but the kids are amazing. It's like it inspires me when I get home to go out and just play with them and have a blast. And it's funny because the boys and girls are so different. Like Jackson's like a very, he'll snowboard. He rides on boxes and rails. He's like all aggressive snowboarder. And the girls are just, they melt your heart, right? You come home, they're like, hug your leg. And I don't know. I love my kids.
If you don't love Jeremy Perkins, you don't love entrepreneurship. Listen to this man talk about his friends, his family, his business, the growth, the passion, what it is going to be like to continue that growth trajectory. Jeremy, I want to thank you for coming on the show today. You are awesome. You inspired me, make me want to go grow my companies. This is Entrepreneurs Unlimited on Facebook Live, broadcasting from Sports 1140 KHTK, and streaming live podcast on YouTube at HaneyBiz.com.